All right, observation, that's a big hill. This is a hot day. I don't know why I'm wearing pants. Today we're talking about assessment. Assessment is basically placing value on things. So sometimes I would give my athletes, well, not sometimes, all the times, you give them something new to work on. And my observation of them would be that I don't exactly feel that they're working at 100%. And so I kind of get on them a little bit. So I'd make this assessment and go, you're not trying 100%, I'm placing value on that, that's bad. And then I would react in a certain way. Little did I know, maybe they were trying at 100%. Maybe their effort, which didn't look to me like 100%, to them was. And because it's new information, it might have taken them some time to adapt, to get coordinated, to figure it out. And I jumped too quickly to wanting a solution, to wanting to get there faster. Putting value on their effort and saying that's not good enough was another way that I shut down my athletes from even trying. Well, if that's not good enough, why should I even try at all? So, assessment, putting value on your observations and knowing what is good and what is not. What do you want, what don't you want? What has value, what doesn't have value? That's assessment. This is what we're talking about today, is assessment. I'm gonna go walk up this hill. Let's go take a hike. Alright, so we're talking about assessment. What really is assessment? Assessment is just basically placing value on something. Whether it's good or bad, right or wrong, positive, negative, it's just placing value. Assessment is something that you want to use in order to get rid of the emotions that you have in your observations. It allows you to kind of rationalize the process. By placing assessment, you can basically say, that's good, I think that's good, or that's bad, I think that's bad. Do they have eye contact when you're talking with them? Do they do the thing you ask the first time? Does it take you 3 or 4 tries? How many times do you tell an athlete, how many times have I told you this, right? You give them an instruction, they don't do it. You give them an instruction, they don't do it. You're like, how many times have I told you this? Assessment is placing value on that before you even get to that point, so that you have an idea of going, man, this is not good. If I have to keep repeating myself, something's wrong here. And then you can bring that to the table and say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is my assessment. It gives opportunity for somebody else to come in and say, well, this is my assessment. Maybe theirs is different than yours. And now you have to come to an agreement. Making the assumption that people are going to assess something the same way you do is the biggest breakdown of communication. Gymnastics-wise, assessment would be simple, like pointed toes, straight legs. Are these things good or bad? When I'm teaching a skill, does quality matter? For some people, they're just more excited about teaching the skill. They did a backflip, but they're not focused on the core shapes, the leg positioning, the arm position, how to use the head. So assessment is placing value on your observation. Observation's collecting all the data, assessment places value on that data. Organizes it to say, okay, these are all the things I like, these are all the things I don't like. That's your assessment. In gymnastics, what you're trying to assess basically is you're setting expectations for your students, for your customer, for your employees by stating these are the things we like. And so assessment is putting value on all those pieces. Is it good? Is it bad? Assessment added on top of observation creates a conversation that you can have now with people where you basically say, I have context, observation, here's my context, and now I've placed value on these pieces. So when you go and talk to somebody, they now know that you have something to bring to the table and they're expecting that. It creates a predictability in your character. And so now somebody who's you'll be communicating with has this expectation to say, okay, I know you have context, I know you've placed value on these things, what are we gonna do about it? They understand the conversation. Your assessment may not be the same as somebody else's. So it's really good to kind of get feedback and ask people and say, okay, this is what I think is good, or this is what I think is bad. What do you think? Because their assessment might be entirely different than yours. And so that's something you want to take into consideration. Start thinking about assessment and what are you going to do with it. Remember, you can always leave a comment below. Subscribe to the videos. We're gonna get more into assessment and how to use it. In the next video, we're talking about interaction. So that's really how do you take your observations, your assessments, and then how do you interact with somebody in that communication process. Until then, check out the other videos and we'll catch up in the next video. See ya.